like, I'm going to try and make some DNA art. And I realized I needed a really accessible and fairly easy study species to start R&D with. And I was like, I know. We have fermenters full of yeast. That is so easy to get the DNA from. So I grabbed a sample of our yeast and went off to the lab with it.
Hey everyone, Amanda here. Welcome to another episode of Great Beer Adventure. Today we head over to an amazingly creative space, Oxbow Brewing Company. In particular, their blending and bottling room. The tap room is full of an eclectic mix of art and decor that lends itself to a warm, inspiring place for a podcast. We have a bunch of pictures to share with you, so head over to our Instagram feed at Great Beer Women. To accompany all of the visual art, they also have music playing, which you'll hear throughout the show. We talked to Dash Masland about yeast. This is our final ingredient in the Ingredient of Beer series. Next week, we bring it all together with a homebrew. If you want to check in on us as we are giving homebrewing a try, be sure to watch Periscope. We will be popping on a few times throughout the process to let you all know how it's going. The easiest way to do that is to connect with us on Twitter, at Great Beer Women. We will tweet it out when we go live. As for now, sit back, relax, while still keeping your attention on whatever task you are doing, and get ready to learn all about yeast, and the art of turning the yeast into art. Here is our interview with Dash Masland. Everyone, Amanda here, and I am sitting in the back of the Oxbow tasting room, blending and bottling.
Correct, yeah.
In Portland, Maine. And we are behind the cooler because the music that you hear is right in the tasting room. And it's a little loud, so we decided to come hide ourselves in the back a little bit. But the graffiti back here is amazing. And I am sitting here today with Jane and Jen and our lovely guest, Dash.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much for being here. This is the part of the show where I tell you a little bit about yourself.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
She's good at that.
Well, we're finding that I am not that great at Googling. So this is always a lot of fun. All right, so I Googled. I'll take all of the responsibility. I Googled and I found that you were a Nat Geo Young Explorer.
Yes, that's correct.
And you are an MS Marine Scientist?
Yeah.
And is the MS Master's?
A master's, yeah. Master in Science, Master of Science.
Nice.
You have a love and passion for Hawaiian monk seals.
Correct. Look at that. You're doing great.
And it was about 5 years ago that you and your husband started Oxbow.
Yes, with our business partner, Tim Adams.
Wonderful. And the last thing that I know, and this is from personal experience, plus it is on the Google, you had an art exhibit called Beer DNA.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you worked with a gentleman named Eric?
Yeah, so Eric's a dear friend who helped me with some challenges along the way with the non-science component of the art. So
we are going to want to know more about that. Today's episode is all about yeast. This is our last little ingredient of beer episode. The series is coming to an end. Next week we are going to actually be home brewing to bring them all together. And so we'll want to know more about that Beer DNA project at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah,
wonderful.
Absolutely.
At this point, let's have the first round. Who's going to take this one?
Okay, I'll take that. So this is Jane and Dash. What is the first beer we're going to be tasting?
Okay, so we have a couple beers here today, and the first that we'll do is Grisaka, which is one of our year-round offerings. It is a grisette, and grisettes are a rustic farmhouse ale, and they were actually brewed for coal miners. And so as the grisette was actually the women that used to stand outside the coal mine with the refreshing beverages for the miners at the end of the day. So it's since become a beer style. Grisaka is interesting because it's single hopped with an American hop called Azaka hops. And it's kind of... it's a newer hop variety, and you're going to have a really aromatic hop profile with like about a 4% really refreshing, light drinking saison. Or
Nice.
grisette, I should say.
Very nice.
Wonderful. And you won't actually be trying this with us, will you?
No, unfortunately not. So my beer descriptions you're going to have to take at textbook best. I actually have a pretty severe gluten allergy and cannot enjoy our beverages. So I would love to hear more about what you guys think about the flavor profile.
Let's jump in.
Excellent.
Okay.
There you go, Amanda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And these are great little glasses.
Aren't those awesome?
know.
Those are those are our little 5-ounce tasting glasses with the same shape as our larger tulip glass.
Is there a? I have 2 questions about the glass.
Sure.
Speaking of tasting, and so the shape. Is the shape the shape it is for a certain reason? Did you pick or no? You know how some wine
that's really more the guy's realm. I know that it is an ideal shape for this type of beer, but I can't really tell you exactly why. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
I wish I
love
knew
the
more
shape.
about that.
That's okay. I also have a second question.
for it.
I'm sorry. I'm harping on the glasses.
No
I know
problem.
these poor ladies are like. These poor ladies are like, let's taste the beer, and they keep bringing it to their
is about glass.
to their lips. I know. So sorry. I told my boss that I was part of this podcast, and he has some Oxbow glasses.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he loves them, and he went crazy when I told him I would be here. And he said he has some of the first glasses that instead of farmhouse ale,
Yes.
farm mouse.
You know about that, huh?
Am I supposed to?
I don't know.
We gotta
That
is
is
this a
that
secret
is
that
a
I'm
really great story. So, we were 3 young 20-somethings starting Oxbow, and our first big kind of promotional item purchase was our very beautiful specialty glassware, and my husband did the design with our resident artist Will Sears. They worked on that together and did a great job. It was super beautiful, and we all proofed it and sent it off to the printer, and we got about 500 glasses that were missing an H in them, so they all said farmhouse instead of farmhouse.
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 My
So we
goodness.
like to liken them to collector's items at this point. We
Yes.
thought it was hysterical. We put them out there anyway. People drank them, enjoyed them, and had a good laugh with us because we couldn't afford to not use them at the beginning. So that was a mistake we had to kind of just roll with.
But now it is a collector.
Yeah,
like, I'm
we
sure
love
people
it.
are
It really
excited.
cracks me up when I hear that people have them.
Yeah,
It's great.
That's pretty
Funny.
cool.
Well, some people don't pronounce their H's.
Yeah, Farmhouse
Sure.
Brewery.
Farmhouse. Okay, any other glass questions,
No,
Jen?
no, I
Can we
totally
drink
hogged
now?
the first round. Yes, you may drink.
I've already been drinking. Sorry.
Me too,
Good
but
for
I'm
you,
just
good.
pretending we haven't been.
Why pretend? It's delicious. It is very refreshing.
Excellent.
I can see that if I were a coal miner,
Excellent.
this is
I would want
something.
this as soon as I
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta imagine it'd be really
Well,
hot and crazy,
hot
down
and
there.
dusty.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
And what do you call those little fun women who pass them out?
Grisettes.
Grisette.
Grisettes. And what language is that?
And
a silly
our
question?
our first grisette we brewed
Sounds
was named
French.
Loretta, after Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's
I
daughter.
was- yeah, that's all I can think now in my head.
I love
is the
it.
coal miner's daughter.
That's perfect.
So we did a little spin off that.
And is grisette? I believe Jen was asking. Is grisette? What's
Belgian?
the origin?
I think it's French.
French?
I think it's French.
Wow. That's
Don't quote me on that. Again,
I like it.
I do the finances at Oxbow, so this is a little
You're an
outside my
important
realm.
person.
But
I'll be sure
You know.
not to use that as a clip for our Instagram feeds. If you
It's
want to,
it's very
nice. and
light and sort of
yes,
cloudy.
yes. So none of our beers are filtered.
Great.
or used we don't use finings in any of our beers either. So that cloudiness is a pretty natural product of just the fact that they're presented naturally, and we just give them as much time as they need to let the yeast drop out and have enough clarity to be finished. But a lot of our beers have a haze.
The first time that on this show we've heard the word finings. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. I'm not so sure what the composition is, but it is a product you can add to the beer that helps the yeast just drop out of suspension.
Oh, wow.
So, but I'm not really sure what it is comprised of.
So by dropping out, that you mean it just kind of stops, or?
Oh yeah. So as you're fermenting the beer and as the fermentation slows down, one of the things you're kind of waiting for is all that yeast that's in suspension in the beer. That's what's making your beer so cloudy. So one of the things that you're waiting for, and one of the things that saisons in particular, our yeast is not very good at, which is why they take a while, is actually settling out to the bottom of the beer.
Oh.
So our yeast tends to hang around in suspension, which is why our beers take much longer than a typical ale yeast would take, the saison yeast. And so dropping out is just the act of that yeast settling to the bottom and the beer becoming clear enough and having enough clarity that it's ready to be consumed.
Oh.
So you can filter it, which will help pull that out, or you can add what are called finings. Which help the yeast drop.
Oh,
Thank you. That was very helpful.
You're welcome.
We love terminology.
Yeah, every time we come across a new word, we're like, okay, wait, what? Stop.
Pause.
Yes, I think that, this is a pale gold straw.
It's a beautiful color.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Basically empty,
Very
but
light.
yours is a pale gold.
That is true.
Jane's glass is empty.
When the glass is empty, it's really just a clear glass color. Like, it's just clear.
That's how that
It's
works.
very
Yeah.
clear.
And again, this is one of our lighter, have you guys have heard the term session ales
Yes,
or whatever.
yes.
So this is one of our kind of lighter sessionable ales, you could say. So
It's lovely.
Thank
That is
you.
lovely.
Hot summer
Thank
day.
you.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's got a quality that kind of just cuts through the heat. It's very refreshing. It's not very effervescent. It doesn't really do a lot of popping, but it's a refreshing drink that if I was covered with coal, I would be like, "Where's my grisette?
Yeah,
Bring her on.
Bring it on.
There's that
Bring
pretty
it
kind
on.
of photo of those little grisettes.
Yes, I know. That would be really cool.
And then we
got
can
to
put
be
it-
out there.
Then we could put it on our Instagram account
Right. There you
at
go.
Great Beer Women.
I'd like to
Yeah.
speak to a former grisette if they
I don't.
are still
It
alive.
might be past the
Could that
prime
be-
of that. I'm not sure though.
Maybe 150 years old.
Yeah, right.
We
200.
can get out a Ouija board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah,
Done.
we'll have to
Calling-
Google that one too.
Yes.
Calling all grisettes.
We go to
From
France.
500 years ago.
Maybe we should move on to
Let's do that. Okay. So the second beer I have for you guys, since we're kind of focused on yeast today, is our barrel-aged Farmhouse Pale Ale. So what's neat about this, our Farmhouse Pale Ale is our flagship ale. It's a spin on a saison and a pale ale. So it's Belgian grain, Belgian saison yeast, the farmhouse yeast, and then with an American hop profile. And it's the first beer we brewed. It's our year-round flagship beer. What's cool about this one is that this is then barrel-aged. So in each batch of our BAFPA, we call it, is aged in different barrels. So I can't tell you the history of this one, but the guys know the history of every batch. So batch 8 tastes different than batch 9, 10. I think we just released batch 10. I think that's what we're drinking today. So I don't know the barrel history of this, but it is a little different for every batch. And it's barrel-aged with Brettanomyces, which is a wild yeast. And it's going to give you our kind of more sour, tart notes in this beer. So that's why I thought it'd be fun to try this.
I love sour and tart.
Excellent.
So are the batch numbers on the bottles?
Yes.
Yes, question mark?
Yes, question mark. They should be. Whether or not... Oh, you know what? We've gone from a batch number on here to a month and year. So this bottle says May 2015.
Oh, nice.
And so that date is actually when it went in the bottle.
Oh, cool.
I need to tell
A
our
lovely
listeners
bottle.
what's happening right now. So, one thing that this tasting room is doing really well is trying to conserve energy.